Welcome back. It's been a little bit of a long break. Everybody said, Tyler, please upload a lot over spring break. Buddy, I uploaded one video and it struck. I don't even think it has 100 views. Not even 100 views. And you said upload every day, Tyler. All right. Sure. Anyway, 102 views. I'm an attention whore. We got to do better. Anyway, tonight we're going to be talking all about the continuation of the Iran war, obviously. What else is there to talk about? I mean, this is the third week. Today marks week 3 of the war. We're going to be talking about the global response to Trump asking everybody else to help him seize control of the strait. Spoiler, only one country said yes. We're also going to be talking all about Joe Kent, the counter-terrorism guy. He retired because, well, Trump, he kind of abandoned everything that he ran on. We're talking about Pete Hegseth, that angel. And we're going to be talking a little bit about Mullin. Senator Markwayne Mullin, what happened? What's going on? You're going to take a little bit of a less controversial approach than Kristi Noem. Great. Yay. Awesome. Anyway, first thing that we're going to do, though, is we're going to show you a good clip of Donald Trump.
He said the war was militarily won in Iran. What did you mean by that?
Oh, I think we've won. We've knocked out their Navy, their Air Force. We've knocked out their anti-aircraft. We've knocked out everything. We're roaming free. From a military standpoint, all they're doing is clogging up the strait. But from a military standpoint, they're finished.
So how much longer should they make?
Boy, he's having a good hair day, might I say. Oh joy. We're winning. Okay, so let's come home. We're winning. All right, let's get the strait open back up. Please, actually, can we get the strait open back up, please? Yeah, the gas prices are starting to scare me. I don't even think it's really affected the energy prices yet, like it's going to the food prices. Bro, literally everything, we're gonna die. We're all gonna die because the strait is closed. In the video, he says like 30 times that we don't even use the strait. Bro, everybody uses the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, if we don't use the strait, then why are the gas prices going up? Can you explain that to me, please? Because I'm not understanding. But anyway, we're gonna give some updates on the war that we're winning. Now, today is the third week, and Donald Trump, he's so, like, indecisive, and he doesn't really know what he wants to do, because, literally earlier today, he said that we were going to seize control of the Strait of Hormuz, and he's calling on all these other countries to help us do it. Now we're winning. Now, he said that the Iran operation, not the war, it's almost finished. So are we going to take the strait? Are we going to take control of the strait? What's going on? I don't understand if he understands. I don't think that he understands. This is not a simple task. I mean, when Iran produces 10,000 drones a month and they're planting naval mines everywhere, you think you're just going to just march in there and just chop shit down? Like, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to get us all killed. Maybe not us, maybe not like me sitting at home in the comfort of my own home, but all the troops, you're going to get them killed. And like during that gaggle, all he did, this egomaniac, dude, all that he did was just, oh, we have such a high approval rating, we're setting records. And he talked about the ballroom. Bro, nobody asked you about the ballroom. Nobody cares about the ballroom. We actually care about you lying to us. You lying to the goyim, you sending the goyim to the slaughter, like, bro. And all you care about is your approval ratings. And that's the thing that people don't understand about Trump is he's an egomaniac. All that he cares about is his approval rating, his reputation, just the way that he looks in public. That's all that he cares about. So if he's getting criticism, it's not going to fly. Whatever he's doing to get that criticism is over. Yeah. Anyway, here's the global response to Trump asking for help to seize the strait. Germany says, this is not our war, but they want a swift and diplomatic resolution. Britain says we will not be drawn into the wider war. Australia and Japan, they said nah. China said nah. Italy said no with a capital N. They said basically along the lines of this is an outrageous trend. This is a dangerous trend of what did they say? What did they say? I have it written down here. They said this is a dangerous trend of interventions outside the scope of national law. So they're not too pleased with it. Spain and South Korea said no, but Spain said they'll use the Navy to escort ships. Of course, Spain does whatever the Rockefellers tell them to, whatever Israel tells them to. Spain is a good little kitten. Okay, they do what they're told. Joe Kent. Should we just go ahead and get right into Joe Kent? Because I actually really want to talk about Joe Kent. This is the Secretary of Counterterrorism. And he actually put his letter of resignation in on Thursday because Trump is a liar. And he said, I can no longer, in good conscience, serve under this administration. So, let me get that letter of resignation pulled up and I'll read it to you. It's a good one. And just a little bit of a background on Joe Kent. Joe Kent and his wife served in the military, and his wife actually died in active duty. His wife literally made the ultimate sacrifice. So I think he has I think he's got a pretty important opinion on illegal wars and if they should be fought or not. President Trump. After much reflection, I have decided to resign from my position as director of the National Counterterrorism Center effective today. I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started the war due to pressure from the Israel and its powerful American lobby. I support the values and the foreign policies that you campaigned on in 2016, 2020, and 2024. Which you enacted in your first term until June of 2025. You understood that wars in the Middle East were a trap that robbed Americans of precious lives of our patriots and depleted the wealth and prosperity of our nation. In your first administration, you understood better than any modern president how to decisively apply military power without getting the U.S. drawn into never-ending wars. You demonstrated this by killing Qasem Soleimani and defeating ISIS. Earlier in this administration, high-ranking Israeli officials and influential members of the American media deployed a misinformation campaign that wholly undermined your America First platform and sowed pro-war sentiments to encourage a war with Iran. This echo chamber was used to deceive you into believing that Iran posed an imminent threat to the United States and that you should strike now. There was a clear path to swift victory. This was a lie, and this is the same tactic the Israelis used to draw us into the disastrous Iraq war that cost our nation the lives of thousands of our best men and women. We cannot make this same mistake. As a veteran who deployed to combat 11 times, and as a Gold Star husband who lost my beloved wife Shannon in a war manufactured by Israel, I cannot support sending the next generation off to fight and die in a war that serves no benefit to the American people, nor justifies the cost of American lives. I pray that you will reflect upon what we are doing in Iran and who we are doing it for. The time for bold action is now. You can reverse the course and chart a new path for our nation, or you can allow us to slip further toward decline and chaos. You hold the cards. It was an honor to serve in your administration and to serve our great nation. I mean, he took the words out of all of our mouths, right? Right? I mean, and the biggest thing that I hear the Trump defenders say is, oh, he's being manipulated. He's being influenced. If that is the case, he should have never been president. I feel like there's a point when you reach a certain age, you shouldn't be easily influenced. You should have your own values, your own moral code that shouldn't be influenced. So that Trump defense, that doesn't work for me. Now, that's kind of what everybody's feeling, right? Is they didn't pose a threat to us, right? I'm kind of thinking that, you know, Israel has been saying that Iran's had a nuclear bomb. Literally, there's a compilation online going back to like 1990 of Benjamin Netanyahu saying, Iran is close to a nuclear bomb. Iran is close to a nuclear bomb. Bro, where's it at? Where's this nuclear? Okay, guy, Benjamin, BB, if you can hear me, Dexon Henderson, my producer, is close to developing a nuclear bomb. Do what has to be done. Take him out. Do what has to be done. He's the threat. Okay? I don't know. I don't understand what's going on. I don't think they have this. I don't think they're that close to a nuclear bomb. I don't think they ever were. And I think that they have the idea of Greater Israel in mind. If you don't know what Greater Israel is, it's like, they're like the size of New Jersey. They want to be like the size of this. It's like literally the entire Middle East belongs to Israel. And I think that's really what they have in mind, because they're fighting like a 9-front war, and they're using the U.S. to do it, and they're using a few other countries, but mainly the U.S. They are sucking us dry, bro. But anyway, go ahead and pull up that video of what Trump said about Joe Kent. Basically in the video, well, I'll show you, but he's making excuses, and just ridiculous.
Director of National Counterterrorism, Joe Kent, he just resigned today. He said he can't support your conflict with Iran. What's your reaction to that? And did you?
Well, I read his statement. I always thought he was a nice guy, but I always thought he was weak on security, very weak on security. I didn't know him well, but I thought he seemed like a pretty nice guy.
Okay.
But when I read his statement, I realized that
you gave him the job because you thought he was a nice guy. You thought he was weak on security. You must have had this thought, right? But he's a nice guy. So yeah, let's let him be the director of counterterrorism. A nice guy directing counterterrorism, right? Weak on security, but dude, he's so nice to me and he tells me everything I want to hear. Sure, because I love approval. I'm like an approval whore. I mean, I just want you to dump that approval load all over my face. Anyway, sorry, that was grotesque. But anyway, this is how Trump talks about someone who lost their wife in a war, who served 11 times. What, he said 11? 11 deployments? This guy, Trump, is just, it's disappointing, really. Anyway, like I said, Trump is compromised. You can't trust that guy anymore. Yeah, 11 deployments. And this is how you talk about the guy. And it's like, the common denominator with the Trump administration is Trump. First term, everyone said, oh, bad personnel. Only problem with the Trump administration is the bad personnel. He picks bad people. Second term, he's got good people in his cabinet. Why is it still failing? You would say it's failing, right? I would say it's failing. No new wars, war with Iran. Transparency covers up the Epstein files. Mass deportation, hard stance on immigration. Where's it at? Don't see anything. Golden age feels like shit around here. Anyway, all right. So we're winning the war. War's almost over. Operation's almost over. My bad. Keep calling it a war. I'm spreading propaganda. Today, yesterday, Pete Hegseth asked for an additional $200 billion for the war, for the operation. So if we're winning, and keep in mind, we're already spending $1 billion a day, and this is day 21 of the war. So we've already spent $21 billion. We spent $21 billion to win this war. Why do we need another $200 billion? Does that make sense to anybody? Because, like I said, sometimes my retarded head is just really slow, and I can't pick up on things that they can in Washington. But I have, I just have something to say. If we had half of if we had half of 200 billion, if we had $100 billion, right? You just give $100 billion out to fix things like the infrastructure here, student loan reliefs, homelessness, healthcare. I mean, the list goes on and on of the things that we can fix. The roads here in Henrietta, Oklahoma, yeah, there's a lot that can be done with $100 billion. Not fighting a forever war that's literally been going on from 1970 something to now. This is a forever war. You understand that, right? This war isn't new. We've been at war with Iran since like 1970. We won't leave these guys alone ever. And I'm not defending Iran. I'm not an Iran apologist. They're bad people. Yeah. But if they're literally not posing a threat to us, if there's no imminent danger, what are we doing? What are we doing in this golden age? We're taking a golden shower. Trump has given us a golden shower, not a golden age. I just don't understand why we need $200 billion for something that we're already winning. We've already spent $21 billion, around, at least within $5 billion or so of $21 billion. Because I know the number was like 800 million to 100 billion, but now it's confirmed like $100 billion a day. So we're pretty close to that. 21 Bs, 21 big ones. Yeah. Now I want to talk a little bit about Senator Markwayne Mullin. The what? That too. Pete Hegseth also posted a video today, just in time. Just in time, everybody. If you got released, oh, that's too much. If you got discharged from the military because of COVID, guess what? You're coming back in action, baby. Just in time to suit up and go to Iran. Yeah, literally posted a video today talking about, you know, we said that we would do it. Everyone who was restricted or was discharged from the military for all the COVID BS. I think it was about like getting the COVID vaccine. I think if you didn't get the COVID vaccine, you got booted out of the military. So now they're working really hard, and they're gonna re-enlist everybody that got discharged for not getting the shot. You're gonna get re-enlisted. You're gonna get to go back to work. Yay! Right? No, you're literally gonna get sent to Iran and die. Because you understand that's where this is all headed, right? The war's not almost over. Trump's lying. I don't know if you couldn't tell through my sarcasm. Trump's lying. This war is gonna go on. This war has been going on since the 70s. Why do you think it's gonna stop now? We just keep mowing the grass and expecting it not to grow back. Dude, we need to go in there with a weed killer. I don't want to say the N-word. But like, if it's gonna make gas go back to like $1.50, let's just drop it. Let's just get it over with, right? Kidding, obviously. You know, and that's another thing. Everybody's so scared of this nuke that Iran has. Oh, nuke. You know, from my memory, the only country I remember ever nuking anybody, the only country I remember ever using a nuke is us, is America. So it's cool when we do it. It's a problem when they do it. Cool. And like I said, I'm not an Iran apologist. I'm just saying it makes me a little bit upset. Politics upsets me because it's just filled with liars. And then you take a guy, you're so frustrated with how everything's been going. You take a guy like Trump, who's not a politician. That's what he runs on. I'm not a politician, blah, 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 blah. Okay, he's got something to show me, but yeah. And he's just like the rest of them. So yeah, I'm a little upset. But anyway, here's something to show us. Oh, I seen this. This is great, dude. This is why I still have love in my heart for Donald Trump.
Question: why didn't you tell U.S. allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about we Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing, you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay?
What a goat. Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? That is funny. Like, Trump is such a comedian. Like, it's hard to, like, stay upset with him. Like, sometimes I have to, like, snap myself out of it. Like, he's making all these jokes, and I'm giggling, and I'm like, imagine him playing with my hair, and then I'm like, stop! Traitor! Get away from me. He'll literally seduce me. Like, you don't understand how much of a Trump fan I was back in 16, back in 20. Well, maybe not 16, because I was, like, in 4th grade, but I actually remember we, in 4th grade, we had a little, like, fake poll. Like, you got to vote Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton in the 4th grade. Dude, all the girls were voting Hillary Clinton, and we were just like, that'll never happen. Girls suck. Girls suck. Boys rule. Yeah, I voted Trump. Not necessarily because, like, I liked Trump at the time, but just because he was a guy. You know, girls were voting Hillary. Why would I do that? But yeah, that's really where my love of Trump started. But in, like, you know, middle school, From wearing MAGA hats, MAGA shirts, getting called a racist, a homophobe, a transphobe, a Nazi, you know, in like the 7th grade. I remember some black lady in Florida on vacation actually threatened to punch me in my face because I was wearing a Trump shirt. But yeah. Anyway, so if you got discharged from the military for not getting your COVID vaccine, don't worry. There's just in time, right? Conveniently, they are going to get right on fixing that. Conveniently. Don't raise any eyebrows or anything because you're going to be just fine. Don't worry. You get to go back. You should be happy. You should be thankful that Pete Hegseth is making sure that you can go fight in Iran. I mean, get your job back. Anyway, now we're going to be talking about how Markwayne Mullin, I had a lot of faith in the guy, and I actually thought he was going to take a harsher stance than Kristi Noem. No, why would he do that? No. Like, deportation approval rating was pretty high. I think deportation, you know, when you're running around and you're campaigning, and one of your campaign slogans is, you're literally going to put immigrants in cannons and shoot them back across the border. And I think that's literally what they said one time, is that we're going to be shoving these immigrants in cannons and shooting them over the border. I think people want deportation. But now you say, Trump is literally telling people that don't even say the word deportation. Don't even say the word deportation. Because it's going to make you lose the midterm. Buddy, you were never going to win the midterm to begin with. Literally, over like the last 100 years, there's only been one president in like 100 years to win the midterms. And that is Barack Hussein Obama, as you put it, Donnie. As you put it, Donnie, it's Barack Hussein Obama. You weren't going to win that, bro. You were never going to win that. Nobody wins it. And it wouldn't even be your fault. So my big problem with you going to lose the midterms now is, why didn't you just start beating the hell out of us early? And like, I was ready for Project 2025. I was ready for you to whip us back in shape. And then you just get in, you're just soft. You're just soft. You just do what Israel tells you. You're like a lap dog for Bibi. You're barking for Bibi. Okay. But Mullins has said that he's going to take a less controversial approach to DHS, ICE. He said his number one priority is to not be a news story, be a new news story every day. Bro, why? You understand that there's like 10 million people here that could be murderers, could be rapists, could be sex traffickers, could be anything, and we don't know because they're undocumented? I'm for legal immigration. There's nothing wrong with that. You want to come here the right way? Do it. By all means. For sure. When you're like sneaking across the border, you're getting put in a cannon and getting shot over the border, that's not cool, because now we don't know who you are. We have no way to identify you. And I understand, now a lot of people hit me with the argument, oh, the right way is too hard. Okay, let's fix the right way. Sure, I'm all for that. Let's make some revisions. Let's make some upgrades to the right way. Let's make it a speedier process. But there needs to be a limit on how many people are coming in here every year. Sorry, nowhere else in the world has such an immigrant problem, such an immigration problem. So when you let all these okay, let's say 9 out of 10 immigrants come in, and 9 out of 10 of them are bad people. That's usually the case. Let's say 10 people cross the border, 9 of those 10 immigrants are probably bad criminals. Criminals is what they are. Now they're here, you have no way to identify them, and you're effed. Now you've got cities like Chicago, you've got Texas. It's not good. All for legal immigration, but not illegal immigration. That's bad. Everybody can agree there, right? Illegal immigration is not good. Actually, some evil leftist, a bunch of evil Democrats, they can't agree, but I don't care. It's not even going to happen anyway, so there's no use in arguing with you people about it. We're just going to let everybody come in. No problem. Whatever. Yeah, Kristi Noem got booted out, and I thought Mullins was going to do better, but... So, in summary, I guess I would say this is the strangest victory lap I've ever seen after winning a war, asking for $200 billion more dollars, I guess, to just, I don't know, shoot fireworks over the country because you won. I don't know. They're also going to be reinstating everybody in the military that got discharged to go fight this one war, this already won war. A little bit of a rushed show in a way, I feel like, because somebody, not to name names, Jackson, went to Arizona for a week, left me here by myself, couldn't do a show because I don't know how to work. Like, look at, what is this? What is even this? How do you even do that? What is this? What is, all it does is this. All it does is take my words out. So I don't know how to work all that. Yeah. Everybody said, Tyler, upload, Tyler over spring break, daily upload. None of you people even watched my last show. We're gridlocked like 100 views. Every other video has like, oh, it has over 200 views, every other video. And this one is like doing poorly. And it's a really good video. I put blood, sweat, and tears into it, and you guys laughed in my face. You probably hit the dislike button. Anyway, we only got one comment. And that's one of my favorite parts, is replying to you idiots. I meant replying to the comments. That's one of my favorite parts. So I guess we'll reply to my biggest fan. I don't know who the lone ghost is, but guy is a real big fan of the Tyler Henderson show. The lone ghost. Trump's switch up is for real crazy though. He really did pull a 180. P.S. You're the best welder I know. You must not know a lot of welders. Psych! Yeah. Dude, anything I do, I'm good at it. I don't, that's not a secret. It shouldn't be a shock. Anything I do, I'm good at it. It's kind of like really cool. Yeah. Nothing to brag about, you know? Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Not a big deal. Yeah. Yeah. Leave a comment on this video. Actually, we love the comments because then that gives us like, you know, if everybody left a comment that watched the video, that'd be like 10, 12 minutes of filler and it would be funny. But anyway, so I guess that'll about do it. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.